We're going on a troll hunt. I think we're in Bergen. Troll spot. The hills are alive. Norwegian apartment room tour. This is our apartment in Oslo. Lovely big bathroom. And this is the bedroom with beautiful balcony out there. This guy is loving the free shower. We started off our first morning in Oslo by exploring the National Library, which was across the road from our accommodation. It had these really pretty murals in the foyer area and had some displays of little souvenirs, art, and some old books, including these war propaganda posters. We then headed to the Vigeland Park, a large central parkland that is famous for all of the sculptures that are contained within it. There were lots of these human-facing ones, which were fun to look at. This was my favourite, Grumpy Girl and her brother, and these were some of the other cool ones. We then headed to the Royal Palace and had a look around here and the grounds. There were lots of guards here too. I love the little royal crowns on everything here. I love browsing bookstores when you're overseas because you get to see unique tales to that country. We grabbed these salad bowls for lunch, which was probably the best value thing we ate in Norway, and of course a cardamon bun, and then we explored the wharf area and jumped on the ferry to take us around the little Oslo archipelago. There are several islands that make up the bay where Oslo is, filled with these colourful houses which are pretty cute. Oslo itself isn't the most pretty city. This is what it looks like from the bay, but it did have all these little swimming spots on the islands, which was super cute. We headed to the National Museum where there was a mix of art, both traditional and modern, as well as a bunch of outfits from the Norwegian royals. We were here to see the famous scream painting, which actually isn't a scream of fear, but an expression of awe, looking at the colours of the sky over the mountains. The more you know. Our next morning in Oslo actually started with us meeting a friend for coffee and cinnamon buns before we grabbed a Joe's juice and checked out the central waterfront opera house area. Europe and their gigantic seagulls. This is the Norwegian opera house and we're going to walk up this roof. It then started to rain, so we sheltered in this Viking garden for a little while, which was actually so nice in the rain. Ski jump! We then just so happened to stumble upon the only full English bookstore in Oslo. This was such a cool shop and had zines, lots of recent reads. We spent a bit of time in here actually. This was right on the edge of the Grünerløkka area in Oslo, which is the cool suburb, full of secondhand and vintage stores, lots of bars and eateries, and lots of young people hanging around. There were lots of cool design stores here, so we had a great time browsing. I would definitely recommend checking out this area if you come to Oslo. We grabbed some wine and chippies at a wine bar, and then I popped next door to try the famous Oslo waffle with jam, brown cheese and sour cream. The brown cheese tastes a bit like peanut butter to me. It was nice. After hanging out in this beautiful leafy park for a while, I grabbed this fresh falafel wrap for dinner, which was delicious. I'm pretty sure we ended up grabbing wine and watching a movie. The next day we had some time to kill before we headed to Bergen on our evening train. We hung out by the wharf, went to a couple of museums, got some ice cream. I tried this famous cheesecake with pistachio topping, which was okay. We grabbed dinner at this fun burrito spot that was a hive of activity and chilled by the wharf, which was also a buzz on a Thursday evening. It was then time for our overnight train to Bergen. We caught the train from the Oslo station and this was our little sleeping capsule. It was so cool. It felt like I was on business class on an aeroplane. Go in your sleeping position. The seats went down all the way flat so you could sleep. You got given a blanket, a pillow, some earplugs, and the scenery on this train was gorgeous. This is known as the most scenic train in Europe, and I can see why. It felt like we were going through Switzerland with gorgeous mountains, the mist hanging over, just greenery, streams, lakes. It was honestly stunning, and I definitely recommend this journey. We arrived in the beautiful Bergen train station, and this place was instantly so pretty compared to Oslo. This was the real Norwegian countryside. It's jumper weather here, which is lovely after the heat. I feel so cozy. This is my view. Look how pretty this is. And the weather is beautiful, nice and chilly. Gorgeous. This is Bergen, the old part of town, with the mountains looming over it. Very pretty. And you can get a shuttle or cable car up there to get a view of the city, which we'll do later. The historically protected old town of Bergen is made up of these little wooden houses with the cutest little shops inside. There were so many quirky things to look at. We went to the famous fish market, which had a unique range of foods to try, and we did try some deer and moose for lunch. Got some fresh cherries for dessert, and of course we tried Brun, which is famous in Bergen for their cinnamon scroll. Look at this forest! So beautiful. We're going on a troll hunt. We're gonna find a big one. First sighting. Trolls were here. They've built these mysterious towers. The hills are alive. We have spotted a troll house. What next? We found a troll cave. I want some mulled wine. Troll spot! Troll spot! Troll spot! Troll spot! And this is his wizard and his pet rabbit, the only one who can control the trolls. Look how steep the track we went up is.
What does this
putting some feelers out there.
We conquered the mountain. 10 p.m. in Bergen. Still broad daylight. The next day we caught a bus to Flåm to see the famous Norwegian fjords. This was a bit of a big journey, but we didn't want to miss out, and it was definitely scenic. Once there, we got on a fjord cruise. This was a 2-hour meander through the famous fjords, and this was the Norway we came to see. Towering green cliffs, waterfalls everywhere, the clearest water. It was honestly so beautiful. We had some seagulls fly alongside the boat and just hover next to us like they were posing for photos and wanting to be involved. It was definitely windy and cold on the boat, but the scenery made it so worth it. You could also get drinks and snacks on board. There was still snow at the tops of these mountains. There were goats halfway up sheer cliffs. We don't know how they got there. At the end of the Fjord cruise, which is pretty spectacular. Waterfalls up there. A dinner of champions. And that was the end of our week in Norway, an expensive country where we definitely preferred the countryside to the cities. Next stop, Iceland. Stay tuned for puffins, elves and volcanoes.